Hello again, it's Joseph. Kilo Delta 7, Quebec Oscar Whiskey. I'm here at the bottom I'm here at the bottom of the Gumjawak trailhead. Gumjawak, I guess there was a trapper up here named Jacques who wore gum shoes over 100 years ago, and so they called him Gumshoe Jacques, and it became Gumjawak. I am going to attempt a hat trick today. I'll definitely be able to get 2 summits, but I'm gonna shoot for 3. I'm starting at 3 p.m., which is pretty late to be starting a 3 summit day, but there's method behind my madness. Number one, we just got we're at the tail end of a parade of coronal mass ejections that pretty much knocked out all the radio bands for the last 4 or 5 days, and that just passed over. So I know that the longer I wait today, the better the bands are likely to be, the better the propagation conditions are likely to be. Also, that will get me up to the 3rd summit late enough to try to get a gray line activation right later in the day, so the sun's not as strong overhead because it's summertime. And of course, my solution for being up there at night is that I have a right here you can see I've got a nice big light on my bike, and I'm mountain biking this activation. That's another way of pulling off a gray line activation, because the mountain bike gets you down the hill fast, especially because when I'm at the summit of this ride, whichever I choose to make the summit, because there's 2 possible mountains that I'll use as the top, the Gumjawak trail that comes back down to the highway is just a nice steep switchback all the way to the bottom, downhill the whole way. So that'll get me to the bottom pretty quickly, and that's the whole point of this. It is August 13th, and it is one of those rare summer days where it's 58 degrees at the trailhead. And I'll be gaining about, my top elevation will be about 3,000 feet above this, so it'll be even colder up there. I'm not complaining about the temperature, it's wonderful. But that, combined with the breeze, means I had to think about how cold it's going to be up there. So my pack is heavy because I have to carry an extra pair of pants, and I have to carry a windbreaker. Well, I always carry a windbreaker. And I'm also carrying my Bothy bag. Okay, this is the entrance to Pocket Creek, and for your reference, it's exactly 1 mile, and you'll gain 230 feet. So it's not like a lot of elevation gain for a mile, but it's more than you expect, and it's along a big, wide, fast highway. So that makes it feel weird, like you think you're really like going slow, and it's actually a pretty good warm-up. So just know not to burn yourself up on that, trying to go as fast as you think you should. At least that's what I do. And then it's gonna waste a lot of elevation here getting back down into the snow park before you get to the road where you're climbing up. Eventually you will arrive at this intersection. The one to the right goes nowhere, as I thought. The one to the left goes somewhere. So go left up this road. Follow the other mountain bike tire tracks. This intersection is also the first exposure on this ride. I forgot to mention this is all in the shadow of Mount Hood, Oregon's highest peak. Already up here, I've only done 1,180 feet of climbing, and it is down to 49 degrees Fahrenheit. I just want to point out that I've been watching my bike computer for a while here, and the steepest this grade got was over 20%. It actually hit 22%. It's steep. Now I see tire tracks and shoe prints. I don't know what that means. Sure enough, there's the Overlanders. No, there's no view of the mountain right now. Oh, that's been opened up. All right, from this spot, go over to this little connector here, which, oh, I see the overlanders have tamed this quite a bit. Somebody's come up and made this passable to overland rigs. It didn't used to be that way. Anyway. Okay, this is the Bennett Pass Road, and I have ridden my bike and skied on it more times than I've driven it. So you can't drive this in a regular passenger car though, and it's challenging but doable in a Subaru or 4Runner, something like that. But really, you know, unless you like overlanding, which is fine. If you like overlanding, come overland. This is great. This is a fantastic beginner's overland route. I see a lot of people, I've encountered a few people in their brand new overlanding rigs driving up this road, not knowing where they are, but, you know, appearing to have a good time nonetheless. Because you can't really get too lost up here. It's pretty close to Portland. I'm 6.2 miles in with 1,800 feet of climbing. And so far, everything that I've been on is legal for a plated bike. So if you've got a dual sport that's licensed and plated, you could be on all of this. It's a pretty short trip up Bennett Pass Road over to the Gunsight Butte trailhead, which is just to my left here. It's so short that I talked all the way up to the junction in one take. So there's the junction. This is the decision point. So at this junction, you can make a choice. Now, if you're in a car and you get here, what you do is, obviously you don't drive up the trail. So to get to Badger Butte, this is confusing. I thought that if I went to the right, I'd get to Badger Butte, but that doesn't go to Badger Butte. That goes over to the Terrible Traverse and then the Bonnie Meadows campground, and then you'll be way off course. You don't want to be over there. You actually want to go left to get to Badger Butte. I'm so glad I looked. And then from this left, there's going to be a peel off to the right that gets over to the base of Badger Butte. So that's good to know. Like I said though, if you want to go straight to 6001 and not try this triple nonsense that I'm doing, you go up that trail right there. It is breezy. I would say it's probably a 15-mile-an-hour wind with 43 degrees Fahrenheit. I would be really nervous if I hadn't brought that part. I'd be really nervous if I hadn't brought that portable shelter, so I'm really glad that I did. Here we are at the next important intersection. So to the left is where we're going to come back to later today. To the right is where we need to go to get to Badger Butte. I'm not pleased that I'm dumping all this elevation, but I knew it was coming. I saw it on the topo. We got a tricked out Tundra. I think it's yeah, it's a Tundra. Howdy. I'm basically gonna keep pedaling until the road stops climbing. The operating theory here being that elevation gained on the road is going to be easier than elevation gained bushwhacking. The important thing is not to keep going, because eventually the road loses a whole bunch of elevation and then goes down to Badger Lake. That's what you do not want. These peaks are far apart. Okay, here's the part where I start the bushwhack. First step, of course, is hiding the bike somewhere. I hope I'm far enough in. Well, I'm assuming that I'm far enough in that, you know, no one's coming up here in their overlanding rig to steal my mountain bike, but I guess I shouldn't make it too attractive either. So anyway, I'll put my bike here. I'm gonna have to cross my fingers that somebody doesn't wander up here and think that it is finders keepers, because it is not. A lot of tracks up here, so people kind of just, they're people and animal tracks. Everybody just sort of summits this any which way they want. And voila, I would have no hope of finding my bike again if I didn't have a record a waypoint. It's not no hope, it would just take me a really long time. I'm gonna put on some pants. Yeah, I don't know if these are game trails or people trails following game trails, all of the above, but there's no clear, obvious route up to the summit. Not that I'm complaining, the forest is relatively open. I do see a lot of what look like hoof prints from deer, no doubt. Based on how my legs feel, I don't know, I might have to nix the last summit, Lookout Mountain. We'll see. All right, this is it. I'm within the activation zone. All right, I'm all set up. We're ready to go. Now, I was scrolling through the band. I didn't hear any CW activity, but FT8 is there. So hopefully we're there. Okay. Nothing on soda. We're gonna try Poda. New Hampshire. What? Alaska? The band is back open.
6:13 p.m.
Okay, nothing hurt, I gotta go. All right, that's a wrap. That was 9 QSOs on this summit. It is 6:24 p.m. It is not any warmer up here. I can probably check the temperature and see where I'm at. I left my thing outside. I left my bike computer outside of my, just here in my pack, so that I would see. Yeah, it's 50 degrees. Well, it's actually, well, 50 degrees in my backpack. I don't know how cold it is out here now. Anyhow, cool. 9 QSOs. Once again, so I got plenty of QSOs on 40 meters, actually. Would have qualified on 40 meters. I got 5 on 40. I'm assuming those came from summits on the air, so those would have qualified me. But I could not have qualified on 20 meters if I had only spotted 2 summits on the air, as has happened to me on quite a few summits. Spotting the parks on the air helped a lot. Part of that's because I tend to be doing stuff later in the evening than a lot of people do. But that is a good thing to know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pack all this up in the interest of saving a little bit of SD card space and battery. I'm not going to like show you me doing all of this. I will say this is the first time I've used this. I got the Pro Audio Engineering KX22 heatsink thing, and it helped keep the radio cool, although it's pretty cold up here anyway. But it does seem to work pretty well, and it has this little plastic cover that comes with it, or that you buy with it. And so overall, I'm pleased with that little change. It makes things a little bit even more robust in my pack, so that's good. I ran the radio off of an external 3 ampere-hour battery, so I was blasting out 12 watts the entire time. And that heatsink works so well that it actually keeps the radio at 12 watts. I've never been able to keep it running at 12 watts before today, so that's good. All right, all that said, there we go. It's in the bag. That's 4 points down. Now let's go on to the next summit. All right, it is 6:51 p.m. and we are back to the road. And by my calculation, I've got about 800 more feet of climbing, so I'll end up coasting down this for a ways, and then I've got 800 feet of road climbing to get up to the next summit, which, if I could just go right back to the car right now, I think I probably would, but I don't really have a choice now. The way back, the only way out is up, so I'm gonna take my, I mean, that's it, it's that. I'm thinking much physically exhausted, but I am like cold. My hands are cold. So hopefully I did not end up needing the shelter up on this summit, but the next summit is much more exposed, and I do anticipate requiring it. All right. Anyhow, here's the trail. And in order to get to my summit, see how far it is. Shouldn't be too bad. See, it's Minnesota Goat. Yeah, 2,200 feet of distance, 319 feet of elevation. So it's what is that, like a little less than half a mile? Yeah. So I would take a half-mile backtrack over doing that, over bushwhacking that any day. All right, here it is, 6,001. It's got a little bit of ways to go. So last time I activated this, I had to carry my bike with me because it had a bunch of stuff in the frame bag. This time I don't have to do that because I ordered my full suspension bike And that one doesn't have a frame bag. So I'm conveniently carrying everything on my back. I'm also carrying the KX2 instead of a IC705, so better situation. Gorgeous. I love summits like this where you're right in it. The clouds are coming up over it. It's 36 degrees. Well, this is 38 degrees in my hand. I believe it. It's not warm. That's why the mountains become prepared for anything. And I did. It's not like I didn't have warning. Okay, so I don't have to find the exact top of this anymore, because as you can see, there's no view right now. It's right in the clouds. So all I'm going to do is find the activation zone and set up my wire. Wow, look at that. This looks like November, not August, except for the flowers on the ground, but it's a lot of, I just love when the wind gives you an idea of how much air there is in motion. This one's going to be a nylon bag type summit. I knew that already. Alright, well, this is the first time I'll be using this Bothy bag. I've tried the poncho shelter trick. Oh, look at that stays on there. That's nice. The only downside right now is I don't have a hiking pole to stick in this. It's too bad. But it's one thing you don't have when you're on a bike is hiking poles. But here we go. So far better. Grab my sit pad. I think I'm this would be a very tight fit. Put a friend in here, I think. Okay, I forgot to plug in my radio. So I gotta have to go back out there anyway. One thing I think is neat already. Okay, I can stick that. I can leave that there, and then so I can take the Bothy bag. I can put it over everything. Need a matching unit. There it is. So I have this redesigned matching unit. I no longer do the whole winder and match in the same thing, because I discovered the winder is it catches the wind because it's a big sail, and so this little small, just having the unun be separate keeps it from catching the wind and moving the wire around so much. yeah, I don't know that I would want to have a person in here. I guess maybe the hiking pole would help. I do know, man, it's keeping me... Oh god, just getting out of the breeze helps so much. Like... Alright, I'm gonna take off my helmet. There we go. And... just, put the GoPro up at me. My battery in here. All told, I ended up spending just less than a half an hour under the shelter. I had enough internet coverage to post a message on the Summits on the Air Slack channel and let the folks in my local area know I was up here activating at almost 8:30 p.m. And I'm pleased to say the local Pacific Northwest soda community totally came through for me. I ended the night with 16 QSOs on 40 meters. The shelter did its job, but I got so fixated on the radio, I failed to notice that it was getting dark on me. Okay, well that's gonna have to be a wrap. It's too dark for me to see now. So I'm gonna have to, well, I've gotta be done. I don't have a choice. I'm gonna turn my phone around. I'm using a phone flashlight right now because I don't have my headlamp on, but I got 16. I've got 16 in the log for today. All on 40 meters for 16 in the log for this mountain, only on 40 meters. I'm not gonna do any other bands. I spotted, like I put up an alert, but I also mentioned on the Slack channel because I had enough internet access that I was going to be on, and everybody came through for me, which is awesome. But it's too dark now. It's getting cold, even colder, and I need to get down the mountain. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll see when I get back to my car if I want to drive up to the Lookout trailhead and try Lookout. I still might try that, but it is like, what time is it? I don't know. I can't tell what time it is. It's 8:52. I probably won't do that. Okay. Well, 7-3 everyone. This is a pretty cool activation, especially since we had such a drought of ham radio for the last few days. But I have to use the mount for the GoPro to put my camera on my head, and that is actually more important to me, believe it or not. So, sorry, I have to use the mount for the GoPro to put mount my headlamp for my helmet. So. That's more important, being able to see. So sorry, no GoPro video for going down. But yeah, 7-3 everyone. Get out there, go play with your radio.